Frozen veggies can be a lifesaver for a last-minute side dish or in the middle of the week when we don't have that much time to cook, but they can sometimes feel mushy if we don't cook them right. So in this video, I'm going to show you some easy tips to cook frozen mushrooms with some nutty and delicious farro. Hi, I'm Chef Sabrina, teaching you the cooking and baking techniques you need to tackle any dish you've always been too afraid of trying. And if you like my videos, please consider subscribing. Frozen veggies are really the perfect solution when we haven't had time to go to the supermarket, but they have a bad rep because they say that they're mushy or they lack flavor or they're too watery. But the truth is that they're usually picked at their best or in season. So they should have a lot of flavor, and because they're frozen in bulk, they're actually cheaper. It's we that we don't know how to cook them and give them justice. The fact is that they have a lot of water trapped inside of them, and if we defrost them before cooking them, all that water is gonna stay around them, and we're actually gonna start boiling them in their own water. And if we don't evaporate that water, then that's when they get mushy and watery. So there, I just gave you the solution. Basically, we have to cook them at least at the beginning on very high heat for a short amount of time. We evaporate all that water first, and we finish the cooking process. It's actually very quick to cook frozen veggies. And so that's exactly what we're gonna do right now with the mushrooms. Okay, so a lot of people hate cooking frozen veggies because of the splashing they do when they hit the hot oil. Solution, no oil. Clean pan, just heat up to medium-high heat and then add them so that we evaporate that water right away. Okay, here we go. I have mixed mushrooms here, but you can use any mushrooms that you find. And I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. See, no splashing, nothing. But you can hear already the water starting to come out. So the salt's gonna help them dehydrate and evaporate that water even quicker. I'm gonna make more videos with other veggies so that you see other techniques in the oven or even in the microwave, because they all have different tricks, but they're all really easy. So I'm not gonna move them. The water starts to come out, and I'm just gonna leave them there for like 2-3 minutes. Okay, so you see all that water there? In any other instance, I wouldn't even touch them. If it was a different kind of veggie, I wouldn't touch it. But I'm cooking some farro, so here's an easy and quick tip. All this water has the mushroom flavor. So if I take this water out because I'm in a hurry, I'm actually throwing away a lot of the mushroom flavor, which is why even with other types of veggies, you just leave them there until the water evaporates and the flavor of the veggie stays inside. But because I'm cooking the farro and I'm combining them afterwards, I'm actually going to gather some of that water so that I can cook the farro in the water. At least it's not gonna be much, but I'm gonna add some mushroom flavor to the farro as well. I don't have to drain it, I just want a little bit. And this is just something, you don't have to do this, but we want to build flavor and flavor and flavor, right? And the water is actually brown because of the mushrooms. So like I said, in any other instance with a different kind of veggie, I wouldn't do that. Or if I was just having these as a side dish, just like sauteed mushrooms, I would not do this either, because I want that mushroom flavor to stay in the mushrooms. But here, it's not much, but at least I have a little bit of mushroom flavor that is going to be in the farro. So I'm gonna season these with some black pepper. You could add some thyme or some rosemary. That would be very nice as well. See, all the water, the leftover water is evaporated. And so very soon we can just add a little bit of olive oil and start sauteing them. All right, let me show you what I have here. I usually make a lot of infused oils, and I just keep them in my counter. And here I have some olive oil that I infused with garlic, and so that's what I'm gonna add. Just a tablespoon, and maybe a little bit of butter, because butter makes everything better. Olive oil too, actually. I really like extra virgin olive oil. And if you wanna learn how to make all those infused oils that I always have in my countertop that I talk about, let me know, because I'd love to teach you how to make them. You can make a bunch of them, different flavors, put them in jars, like in mason jars, just have them on your counter, and that way you just have them, and you don't have to be making them every time you cook. It just infuses a lot of flavor in the food. And I like my idea of the rosemary, so I'm just gonna add a little sprig. I'll take it out just to perfume the mushrooms. like I said, thyme, sage, rosemary, they're all really good. And the rosemary is gonna be really good with the farro too. All right, I'm just gonna saute them for a little bit and we're gonna get started with the farro so that we get ahead. In here, I have some water, like regular water, and also the mushroom water that we saved. You could use vegetable stock, you could use chicken stock. This actually could be a vegan recipe if you add water or vegetable stock, and I'm gonna add some cheese at the end because I love cheese. But you can omit it and add a vegan cheese as well if you'd like, and just keep it vegan. But it's so good with some Parmigiano on the top afterwards. So I'm just gonna bring this to a boil, and the recipe will be on the comments below, but also on my website, on my Instagram, everywhere. So you're not gonna miss it. Let's add a little bit of white wine because I had it in my fridge, so why not? And I'm just gonna let it evaporate as well. This is boiling, salt, we wanna season it. And if you buy your chicken or vegetable stock, make sure it's low sodium, or make sure that you are aware of the fact that maybe you need to add less salt. Just gonna give it a swirl, and I'm gonna put the timer for 10 minutes. Give or take, just follow the packaging instructions for your farro. This is 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna shut it off, and then wait for another 5 minutes, and then we're gonna fluff it up and put it together. That's pretty much it. So let's just give it a minute here. The mushrooms are getting such a nice color, and that's what we want. We don't want to overcrowd our mushrooms. That's a no-no with frozen mushrooms, fresh mushrooms, whatever. They have so much water that if you overcrowd them, then they start boiling, and we don't want that. We want this beautiful golden color on our mushrooms, so they have a lot of flavor. I want to show you two other things while this boils. I'm actually going to lower the farro. It's starting to be towards the end of the amount of water. Here I have some onions that I saute ahead of time. Basically, extra virgin olive oil and salt. That's it. And I do this quite often because, I just want to get dinner on the table really quick. And I'm sure so do you. So having to saute onions every single time is a pain in the neck, especially if I'm in a hurry. And this is like an 8-minute, 10-minute process. So I'm just saving time every day of the week by just doing them in a big quantity. This is 2 onions, and I've used some of it already that I just saute, and I have it in my fridge. And just like that, I also do the same thing with leeks because I have so much dirt inside. Having to do that every single time I want to use them, no. I just do them in bulk, saute them, put them in a container and in my fridge, and I have them ready whenever I need them. And this, it's a beauty. And if you want to learn how to do this, let me know because it's delicious. Just like with the infused oils, I love doing these kinds of things to increase and build flavor over flavor over flavor. This is actually, it looks like a pesto, but it's made with parsley, and it's like preserving the chlorophyll of the parsley. It's just a little bit of extra virgin olive oil and some ice water and salt. And that's it, and it's parsley. And we're gonna finish the dish with this. Of course, you can sprinkle some parsley on top, but finishing it with this just gives it that extra flavor. It took me 5 minutes to make, and I have a lot here that I can just make pasta, put it on a chicken, finish a dish like we're gonna do. So many things that you can do with this. So let me know if you wanna learn how to do this because it's really, really simple, and it just gives so much flavor. All right, so the onions, I'm going to add a little bit of the onions to my mushrooms, just because I know it's gonna be really nice with the farro as well. So see, done. I don't have to cook them. The farro is almost done. My timer is set to 2 more minutes, but I think I'm just gonna turn it off now, and I'm gonna cover it. It needs to be covered. All right, covered. We're gonna wait now 5 minutes for this. We're gonna fluff it up, add it to the mushrooms, done. Okay, I think we're ready. 5 minutes have passed, and I'm just gonna fluff it up. And they should be really nice and al dente. You can cook them longer, you can add more water. It depends on what you want. You could also cook this like risotto. You can cook farro like risotto. And if you wanna learn how to cook risotto, please let me know in the comments below. Please, please, please. I used to work in Italy and at a culinary school, and one of my favorite classes to teach was risotto making. So I would love to make a video about that. So let me know if you want to learn. Okay, so this is ready, but most important thing in the kitchen, taste. We have to taste, right? Taste, taste, taste. That's what I always say. We're not magicians, we're just cooking. Oops. My God. Those are good. And this, I like them. I like them like that, with a little bite. All right, time to add this. And we're just gonna saute them together for a second. And then we're gonna just finish them with some Parmigiano. How many times have I said that I love Parmigiano? I love Parmigiano. All right, this doesn't need much. Let me take that rosemary out. Lower the heat. Look, it's like a little wheel of Parmigiano. Isn't that cute? I love it. All right, fire off. Some cheese. And that's it. Let's plate. This is a delicious side dish, or honestly, I could just eat this as is, like as a main dish, because the mushrooms are so meaty, you know? I'm gonna plate this like if it was a main dish, which is really how I would eat it, and add my oil. To prep my oil, I'm just gonna add a little bit to a bowl, and then a little bit more extra virgin olive oil. And I'm gonna mix it around, and that's it. And this is what I'm gonna drizzle on top of my farro and mushrooms. You can add more cheese because why not, right? And let's taste. It's my favorite part. Oh my God. This is so good. You don't need anything else really. But if you're a meat eater with a piece of steak on the grill and this, out of this world. So let me know if there are any techniques that you'd like to learn, any dishes that you'd like to tackle. I'm gonna keep eating this, and thanks for watching.